Guilford's own Nick Fradiani playing this weekend at the Harwinton Fair, and he has several other gigs here in Connecticut in the next few months. Now, we all watched him win American Idol 6 years ago right here on Fox 61. Since then, he has been busy performing, making more music, and even acting on Broadway. He's joining us this morning to talk about what he's been up to. So great to have you back on Fox 61, Nick. It has been far too long. Good to see you.
I know. Been almost 2 years now, but it's great to be sort of back. We're not in person, but we are talking to each other.
Yeah, we do what we can. So a lot to catch on here, but let's talk about what's happening this weekend first. You're performing this weekend at the Harwinton Fair.
That's right. Yeah, it's an afternoon show on Sunday, 2 o'clock. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, the Harwinton Fair, make sure you come and check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right. Tell us a little bit about your new single, Never Gonna Die. Never Gonna.
Yeah, Never Gonna came out a couple months ago. It was one of the first songs I wrote during the pandemic. I was doing A Bronx Tale, which was the national Broadway tour, and it got cut short. And I was home and I was doing a lot of online shows, and I started writing this song. And it took us a little while to record it because we couldn't get into the studio. And then once we were finally able to get in there, we recorded it and released it. And the feedback's been really good. So we'll be playing that one at the fair. So yeah, it's fun to at least still be able to put out music. And, so many, especially Connecticut, so many people are still so supportive and in listening and sharing my music. So it's been quite a blessing over the last few years.
Absolutely. Well, we love to follow exactly what you've been up to and hearing new music from you. Now, when COVID hit during the height of pandemic, it changed life kind of completely for everyone. Everyone's lives were turned upside down. We all had to adjust. How did that influence your writing for your music?
Well, it was funny that you said that because Never Gonna is a pretty happy, up-tempo, motivating song. So I must have been feeling good. That was only 2 or 3 weeks into the pandemic. Some of the songs, I think, you start, a lot of times in music, you might not go into it with a lyric idea. You might go into it with just a feeling, and that vibe comes out in the instrumental part of the music, and the songs might just come out a certain way. And I feel like I put out a lot of ballads actually throughout the pandemic as well. So, but in terms of the actual way it changes your writing, I did a lot of like the way we're talking, I did a lot of Zoom writes. Never Gonna was actually written for the first time. Me and my buddy Nick wrote it over the phone, over Zoom. So that's definitely a big change. You're used to writing with people in person, and now you got to make it work over either FaceTime or Zoom. But it's interesting, and I think it made the songs kind of special.
It sounds like maybe it was one of those projects that started out one way and then it kind of took a turn and it ended up a little bit different.
Yeah. Now, we're full-fledged back in the studio now working. I've been kind of in the writing zone recently, which is a good feeling to be in. So we're kind of working on a project. We don't know exactly what it is yet. The last couple of years, I've just been putting out singles one at a time. So this kind of feels like more of a body of work that's being worked on. So we'll see what happens.
Now, the last time you were with us here in the Fox 61 studio, you were talking about The Bronx Tale. Very excited about that. And you were in the middle of that national tour when everything stopped because of COVID. You touched on it a little bit, but if you want to go a little bit more into it, and then at least tell us how great it was before things stopped, because you said that was kind of like a dream of yours.
Yeah, it was definitely a life-changing experience. We ended up, even though it was cut short, we did 100 shows. We had a cake for our 100th show in Costa Mesa, and then the next day they told us, we're sending you guys home for a couple weeks. Figured we'd have 2 weeks off because we still had about 3 more months of touring, and then obviously we never made it back out. But it was amazing. I hope to do it again. I signed with a acting agency after it, so hopefully I could experience something like that again because it was great. I went in there very guarded and very nervous, and I left there with just the utmost respect towards people that do musical theater, and it changed my life. I really loved it, and I have a feeling I'll do something like that again in the future. But it was a great show, and I think Chaz Palminteri is doing his one-man show at the Palace coming soon. I'm not sure the exact dates, but you should check that out too if you can. But he was a huge part in me being able to do something I'd never done before in playing his dad on the show, basically. So it was a great experience.
Now, just a minute ago, I mentioned that it had been 6 years since we watched you win live on American Idol right here on Fox 61. I have to ask.
You feel old. That's a long time ago.
You and me both. Of all the things that you've been able to accomplish, is there sort of one thing that holds that special place for you?
Probably that. I mean, that win,
Yeah.
sometimes you try to, you're always, I think when you accomplish something like that, you're always like, it's the next thing. I need to accomplish this. I need to accomplish this. And as the years go by, and now you just said 6 years, it will always hold a place in my heart. It's just something that, it's hard to put into words how cool that was in the moment. It was such a blur, but now looking back on it, was such a special time. And, even coming home and getting to come to the studio for the first times, and then, and coming and seeing all the support when they did the hometown parade. That was a special moment, and I'll definitely always remember that. Yeah. And it's going to be hard to top that, I think. So
absolutely.
We'll see.
I mean, you're talking about that hometown parade on the green, and even I'm getting goosebumps. I went there with my daughter to watch you for the first time. That was just a cool experience. Always great to see you and talk to you, Nick. Hopefully soon we'll get you back here in the studio and we can chat more.